Give us this horsepower!
Rolling dung, you surly...
I'd gladly hear your opinion on the situation.
Finally, someone reasonable. It's obvious Henselt bribed some serf who then did what he was told.
That's interesting.
Just think it through. The prince couldn't have done it. The wine was in plain sight. Only the servants touched the decanters, and who are they? Commoners. Then that same commoner incited his folk to stand against the nobles and the prince.
Something to think about.
Enough of this charade!
Try to be reasonable, folks. Sit down and talk in peace.
We've talked enough! Come on, lads, let's drag the prince from his hovel!
Vergen's not a cesspit for anyone to shit in. There are laws to abide, and Scalen Burden's job is to uphold them.
There's no law allowing a serf to threaten a king's scion. I, Silgrat, brother of Seltkirk, the greatest knight to walk Edirnian land, say so.
Does it matter who was born in a castle and who in a pigsty? Any fool can prejudge and condemn. It's easier to accuse than to prove guilt.
A peasant servant claims that Prince Stennis supposedly attempted to kill Saskia. Why would the prince do such a dastardly deed? Bear in mind how eminent is his lineage.
That's why! The mongrel covets the crown!
Do you even remember how valorous he was towards Saskia during the negotiations with Henselt?
Pretending to be with her he was, sly fox. Taking the simple peasants in. But us lads ain't so dumb as you lords think.
See for yourselves how the commoners hate the prince, spitting venom like adders. They hatched a plot to dispose of him.
Saskia's servant said that...
Where is this servant, might I ask? If he's got something to say, why does he hide like a thief? The answer is simple. He's a fraud.
He's hiding to save his skin from you, whoresons. Squirrels have to guard him.
One last question. How could the prince poison Saskia? It's a known fact that servants taste wine from the barrels before the virgin sips it.
A good point. We can't be sure if the prince poisoned the wine.
Stennis is blowing hot and cold. Everyone knows that.
You were supposed to prove his guilt, not insult him, yokel.
Tell us who else would do it. A peasant wanting to hurt the miss? Never. It's cause of her you noble dogs can't ignore us. A pig won't cut its own throat. A peasant's not foolish enough to raise his hand against his saviour.
Perhaps it is no peasant's deed. However, that doesn't mean the prince is guilty, fool.
Answer me this. Was not Stennis' room next to Saskia's? Do not the wines come from his own lice-ridden cellar? Can he not enter the Virgin's kitchen at will? Yes, his serene Damed the prince can, curses on his kin. Nobody in Vergen wants to kill Saskia, and even if they want it, nobody but Stennis could do it.
You're wrong, Colton. Reverend Olkin wanted to get rid of Saskia. He thought she was a monster at heart.
Olkin was on Stennis' leash like a dog.
How dare you, lout! Do you imagine if someone sits next to a married lady, he's surely fucking her?
The priest tried to convince Prince Stennis to join the conspiracy.
Is Stennis some dimwit foundling that he dances to a lousy priest's tune? Olcan got what he deserved when Henselt cleaved his head. Now it's Stennis' time.
There is no proof the prince agreed.
The priest asked him for admittance to the kitchen.
So he didn't poison the Virgin himself, but allowed her to be poisoned.
Those are just words. Too much guesswork and not enough evidence. You can't convict anyone based on that.
Your Highness, this is dangerous.
I am not afraid. Fear is a commoner's trait, unfit for one with royal blood running in his veins. What do you want, to judge me? Is a prince a common thief who steals a dozen eggs at the market? You stand before royal majesty, and you raise your hands against it. In this world there are crimes that can be forgiven, and crimes that, by any means, cannot. Just as a mother killing her own child, or a man slitting his own brother's throat cannot be forgiven. A crime against one anointed by the gods themselves also cannot be condoned. He who raises hand against divine right is not worthy to walk this world.
And what about he who poisons the Virgin of Eden?
Firstly, Saskia is alive, so no one can blame me for her death. Secondly, you have no proof that it was I who tried to murder her. And thirdly, I assure all gathered here, I won't rise above the law. However, only she, the Virgin of Eden, can judge me.
Can it? And if Saskia won't get well, who's gonna judge you?
I believe she can be cured. But if the gods decide otherwise, we'll summon a coven of the wise who can pass just sentence.
Those are words worthy of a true sovereign!
I am the one you should look to for guidance. Let my deeds be the flame that lights up your darkness.
The prince has a right to a fair trial, no matter if he's guilty or not. We can't deny him that. What will the peasants do if we hand them the prince? Will they hear him out? No. They'll hang him from the nearest tree or tear him limb from limb. What will happen if we allow a lynching? What if people see that might makes right? Who'll guarantee they won't desire to avenge their wrongs, real and imagined? Who'll protect people whose only fault is noble birth from the exasperated mob? And where will it lead?
The peasants are furious.
They didn't dare mount a frontal attack.
But they haven't forgotten about Stennis, and won't. It'll be that way until Saskia regains consciousness.
She won't keep order by strength alone.
Unless it's a great strength.
We need an authority figure, and royal blood.
5 courts go to waste in the Dwarven dungeon at the moment.
There's also Henselt.
Going into that haunted mist is madness. Stealing Stennis away would be easier.
No. Anything involving Stennis will cause a riot.
I've had enough of the peasants and nobles barking. Saskia's the best leader I know, but she can't hope to defeat Henselt's army with this rabble, which is why I'm going to get reinforcements.
Where?
4 Scoia'tael units await in hiding to the east. Time to summon them.
You'll make it in time?
I must.
Don't try anything.
I'll say it again. Humans are strange. Dowry is diligent, yet he'll...
I don't like you, Witcher.
Take care, what's up?
Only Philippa Eilhart may enter.
I tried locating Triss, but the mist disrupts the megascope. There's a weak signal nearby, probably on the other side.
In the Kedweni camp?
You'll have to pass through the mist.
There's no time to lose.
I'm continuously scanning the battlefield. I'll show you the way through. I'll find you when you enter the mist.
Farewell, then.
We still need royal blood.
I know. Henselt.
We need his blood, not his death.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not a Kingslayer?
Don't try anything.
I can go no further. If Deathmold senses my presence...
How will I get back to Vergen?
I'll wait nearby. Hurry!
Damn, I knew it was you. When the mist started whirling, I told the boys, it's Geralt of Rivia, or my name isn't Vernon Roach. Friend of yours?
Just found him. He was already dead.
Interesting. Dressed like a Vergeni. You almost made it through the fog. What's your business here?
Saskia's been poisoned. The antidote can't be made without a Rose of Remembrance. I came here to get one.
Dogs are at each other's throats even though a bear tests their bounds. No roses bloom here, Geralt. Tell the truth.
I gave such a rose to Triss.
Still looking for your sorceress. If she came here, I'd know about it.
She's got to be here. Philippa Eilhart located her.
It seems you met the whole menagerie. Will you abandon them too when things get hot? You made your choice. Fled with the elves while Vess almost died at that Horson Laredo's house.
I'm not one of your men, Roach. I didn't betray you.
I didn't say that.
But you thought it. You and your men against the whole world. Those not on your side are against you.
Don't you care about Voltest's death anymore?
The assassin kidnapped Triss, remember? Help me find her, and I promise I'll keep the word I gave you in the dungeons of Lavalette Castle.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Right. If Triss is anywhere in the area, it can only be one place. At the rear, near the riverbank, the Nilfgaardians have set up their camp. Nobody can enter it. You can get there either via some caves or by sneaking through the main camp. Don't forget the gates. Believe it or not, the whorehouse is where you need to go to enter the caves. The ladies thought they'd use that passage to service the knights and nobles, but some monsters have their lairs there. If you've had your fill of whores and monsters, to the east there's a path that leads along the riverbank. That'll get you near the canteen. You'll have to sneak the rest of the way from there.
Thanks, Roach.
Hey! I'll hold you to your promise.
I fought the Nilfgaardians a few years back. Now we make camp with the Black Ones.
We should have our say. Take an interest in things. or it will turn out like the nail in still.
Well, well, a witcher. Girls, prim yourselves. How can I help you, handsome?
I wanted to talk.
We're no strangers to the art of conversation, but it'll cost you just as much as a good plough.
Sounds all right.
Ask away, then. What would you like to talk about?
Anything interesting going on in the camp?
Soldiers are scared shitless, what with this battle approaching. They'd rather drink themselves silly than let us honest whores make some coin. Is that interesting? I doubt it.
Not raring to fight, are they?
They might have been eager at first, but the longer we sit here, the less lively they become. Fighting's like ploughing. Lust for one, and you lust for the other.
But it's wrong here.
Well, how can I help you, handsome?
I wanted to talk.
We're no stranger.
Sounds all right.
Ask away. What would you like to talk about?
I need to get inside the camp, unnoticed.
That'll cost you more than straight ploughing. That's nowhere near enough.
I need to get inside the camp, unnoticed.
That'll cost you more than straight ploughing. That's nowhere near enough.
I need to get inside the camp, unnoticed.
That'll cost you more than straight ploughing. That's nowhere.
I need to...
That'll... That's nowhere.
I need to get...
That'll... That's nowhere.
I need to...
That'll cost... That seems satisfactory. We've an underground passageway leading out to the riverbank within the camp's confines.
Thanks.
Although we've not used it for some time. There's something down there. Something evil, horrible.
I'm sure I'll manage.
The entrance is inside the tent.
At least this one bathes. Gotta pay for looking too.
It's that albino again. Diddle yourself, pauper.
more can that be?
FK Nordling, where do you think you're going?
To see the ambassador.
With all that steel on your back?
Have you seen a red-headed sorceress anywhere?
You didn't seem to understand my delicate suggestion, Nordling. Drop your sword.
I'm not looking for trouble.
Shillard Fitz-Estelin is waiting.
Metnara Rab. Geralt, I'd hoped we wouldn't meet again.
We caught him sneaking through the camp, Excellency. We disarmed him.
Esther Garamnith.
I remember you telling Foltest you'd like to return to hunting monsters.
Triss Marigold was kidnapped.
Foltest's advisor. I heard she arrived at Vergen and hoped we would meet. But if she was kidnapped... Now I understand why you couldn't just stand by. But there are other reasons too. They told me you're in league with the Squirtle, with Yorveth himself, no less. Is this true?
More or less.
Have you heard of the slaughter of Enshe at the Ravine of the Hydra? The kings of the North effectively forced the Empire to condemn and execute the war criminals of the Vryhed Brigade. Yorveth was among those condemned.
September 13th, 1269, the Ravine of the Hydra. Following the peace of Sintra, 53 officers of the Vryhed Brigade were brought here and executed, their throats cut. The elves' bodies were dropped into the chasm. I don't know what the riders of the hunt were looking for. November 23rd, 1269. Sintra, the village of Coldwater, and another victim of the hunt. An 11-year-old boy. His parents didn't even ask if he had a chance. I'm tired. February 24th, 1270. A high pass in the Armouche Mountains. An imperial manticore, one of the world's oldest and deadliest monsters. I used to feel excitement at moments like this. Now the beast is only an obstacle on my way. Its meat and hot blood will help me survive this icy hell. May 30th, 1270. The Yaruga River. The hunt continues to race south. Since I've been following them, they've taken 23 individuals, all between the ages of 10 and 20. All except for Yennefer.
Amusing that the Scoia'tael believe the Emperor betrayed them. In fact, the kings of the North demanded the massacre at the Ravine of the Hydra. Do you feel well?
I feel fine.
I'm sorry. I can't give you more of my time. The long road to Loch Muin awaits me. The Council and the Conclave are waiting, and Triss Merigold, as always, arrives in the nick of time.
What are you talking about?
The figurine. He must have it on him.
What's the meaning of this?
I want to introduce someone to you. This is Vanamar, my personal sorcerer. He sensed Triss approaching our camp, though she was to arrive in different company. Before you die, Witcher, would you be so kind as to explain how you got your hands on this figurine?
If you hurt her, I'll find you, even in Nilfgaard.
Triss will help us find those wenches that betrayed the Empire. I don't know whether you killed Talvik or found him dead, it's irrelevant now. I'd prefer not to sentence to death a man previously pardoned by the Emperor himself. Unfortunately, I have no choice. Vanamar, once you're done with him, convey my congratulations to Cynthia. Leading Philippa Eilhart up the garden path is no small feat. Farewell, Witcher.
This is a good place. Are you ready, Geralt of Rivia?
Plow yourself, Nilfgaardian.
Your words mean nothing now.
Just like the good old days. Having killed an Nilfgaardian for years. I knew you'd get in trouble.
Shillard has Triss. He's taking her to Loch Muin.
Now I understand the commotion. Ambassador Shillard kidnaps Foltest's former advisor. This stings horribly, Geralt. It would seem the Nilfgaardians want to be present at the Conclave's restoration.
Destination Loch Muin, then.
I should have known. Sheila managed to locate the killer's hideout. They were hiding nearby in the gullies. Deathmold sent his men there, but Foltest's killer fled. 2 other witches were covering him. One was taken alive. Before he died from torture, he revealed that Abruzzo went to Loch Muin. The mages want to resurrect the Council and the Conclave that once represented all the sorcerers and sorceresses of the North. King Radovid, the ruler of Redania, is also invited. As Loch Muin lies in Kedwen, Henselt is likely to arrive too. But a Nilfgaardian delegation. Triss, Nilfgaard, Radovid, a bunch of mages and the Kingslayer. Too many eggs in that basket.
One more thing, Roach. I need to see Henselt.
Why?
I need a few drops of Henselt's blood. Someone poisoned Saskia's wine, and his blood is an ingredient of the cure.
Saskia's a rebel, a wench from who knows where. She only speaks of knightly honor.
Says Vernon Roach, blue-blooded prince, heir of Temeria.
All right, enough. Ah, plow it. I hope I won't regret it. Henselt should be in his tent. I'll distract the guards, then it's up to you.
I owe you, Vernon.
That's not even funny anymore, Geralt. So, ready?
Let's go, Roach.
Geralt, hide.
Hey, you! Come over here!
I have to distract them somehow.
What the devil happened here? Henselt will skin us alive!
Who are? Have you come to kill me?
I'm here for your blood.
You sneak in here like a villain and you want my blood? Fight me and try to spill it.
Calm down, Your Highness. I need only a drop.
Who are you?
Someone holding a sword to your throat, Your Highness.
Why do you need my blood?
Saskia, the Virgin of Edirn, was poisoned. Royal blood is one of the antidote's ingredients.
What superstitious nonsense! The wench wants royal blood! She should bite Stennis, Edirn's heir, in the arse.
Listen, Your Highness. Give me your blood voluntarily, or I'll open your veins myself. I prefer the first choice. It would work out better for both of us. If I spill your blood myself, I'll have to break through the entire camp again. Who knows, maybe one of your soldiers will get lucky and kill me.
I sincerely hope so, Satchel-mouth.
But then the Wraith's mist will hang on the border until your knights become weary of warring.
What are you talking about? You know how to open the way for my army?
Yes, but I can't do it dead.
You'll get my blood. But promise you'll disperse the mist?
You have my word, King.
Remember our deal. My men will lead you out of the camp. I wouldn't want one of the soldiers to get lucky. Tell me, though, how did you pass the mist?
I'm a witcher.
Then I need an army of ploughing witchers.
Finally, you're back. Where is Triss?
The Nilfgaardians have taken her to Loch Muin.
What?
They cast a spell on her, turned her into a figurine.
Artifact compression. They must have a powerful mage.
They had.
Without him, Shillard won't be able to lift the spell. However, Loch Muin will be full of sorcerers.
That's not all. They got Triss because of Cynthia.
Cynthia?
She lied to you.
Back to Vergen, at once!
Damn, you're ugly. Guess they'll never learn.
The plague. I was so foolish. Cherish this rare moment, Witcher. Philippa Eilhart's been had by a cheap Nilfgaardian bitch. When I find her, we'll have it out like never before. She'll regret her mother didn't abort her.
Wait. The Rose of Remembrance is gone.
Not necessarily. That viper, Cynthia, was in a hurry and left her bric-a-brac. Ah yes, here it is. Triss Merigold's Rose of Remembrance. Time is running out, Geralt. This flower is dying.
Then what are we waiting for?
You wanted to discuss something? Remember the antidote for Saskia. It's very important.
Oh, a witcher. Hello, witcher.
Think you might have gone a bit too far with Stennis?
Mummy spent too much time pampering him, so he thought he could do anything he pleased. He got what he deserved. Maybe it'll all blow over, or maybe there'll be another war. History's like a coin that falls out of your pocket. You never know where it's gonna roll.
How long have you been alderman?
My predecessor was killed 3 years ago. I was one of his advisors. I knew my way round the circus. So, I volunteered to manage things. No one opposed me. Mostly I deal with trade and taxes, and I organise assorted matters. In the end, everyone listens to Saskia, exclusively. Me included.
How are things?
Everyone awaits the battle. Some pray, others drink. Zoltan and Yarpan are chasing peasants around the square. They need a bit of drilling. Jorveth's warriors are trying to be inconspicuous, and so they should. I'd feel better if they crawled up the devil's arse and disappeared. But Saskia thinks we don't stand a chance without them.
Saskia needs help, Cecil. Philippa can produce an antidote, but she needs a magic artifact to do that.
Would you like a fern and a dancing worm to go with it? Listen, I don't know about magic, but there is a place. As long as I can remember, it's been of interest to sorcerers. They say it's a very strong intersection. Look for magic there.
Where exactly is there?
Seek out the ruins in the forest beyond Bergen. There's a place of power there. You can't miss it. Why so glum? Saskia's a tough girl. She'll bounce back. Keep your head up.
Thanks, Cecil.
No, Witcher. I thank you. Save that lass, and you'll save my town.
Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old cook Henselt, called king by some, thought that Adernians were bumpkins who'd ship bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edern?
According to Henselt, Upper Edern is the ancient legacy of the Kedweni crown and must be returned to the mother country. Brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crab. 700 years ago the elves reigned here, and 1,000,000 years ago these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighbouring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right. Hensel wanted to conquer Upper Edern. What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want...
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Eternians, Kedweni, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen. A beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot. When Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent the Dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Edern at all. We decimated the Dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kedwenis gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armour. Then, Van de Grift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Van de Grift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Adernian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead. They say it was the doing of a Kedweni sorceress who wanted revenge on Van de Grift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontard the third day after the autumn equinox. Edern had good spies, so we were ready for them, and Seltkirk lined up our troops along the hills. Our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Wengerberg, Aldersberg and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights and armoured infantry side by side in our ranks. Even the peasants had their regiments. The dwarves were on the left flank. Over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or background, like never before. Only King Demavend was missing, but he must have had more important business than defending his country.
You saw the Kidwennies cross the river?
From afar. I saw Vandegrift leading 4,000 heavily armed men. Many a heart sank when we saw the elite bearheads or the armoured banners from Ardcarrig. The Dun banner was in the middle, veterans of Brenna. As soon as he set foot on Adernian land, Vandegrift climbed a hill and surveyed the area, as if it was his fief. Son of a bitch was as sure of himself as ever. Upon spying him, I remember the dwarves all dropped their trousers and showed him their asses. Then Selkirk stepped out in front of us. His white armour shone in the sun. We were afraid a Kidwenny arbalist would shoot him, but they too stood as if frozen, and Selkirk just looked at them and bowed ever so slightly.
Did you see the duel between Selkirk and Vandegrift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once, at a jousting tournament in Ardcarrig. Selkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Selkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Vandegrift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Selkirk with that new sword.
Vandegrift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing too. Only her hand can tame the hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake of Selkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbles something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitor sent them to their deaths. Refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers. Killed a lot of our lads, but for every Dunner, there were 7 Adernians. They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard. Thanks, Cecil, that was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhard claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Vandegrift's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
Here's hoping you're right.